Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Moore. This week we are going to be working on writing. If you have not watched Mrs. Ray's video this week or Mrs. Freshy's video, make sure you go back and watch those before you watch my video because they are going to teach you so much that you're going to need to know for our writing lesson today. Okay, so if you're still with me, here we go. We are going to work on writing by adding to the end of our Jig, Jag, and Jog book. Okay, so what you're going to need today, if you have a copy of your Jig, Jag, and Jog book, that's great. If you don't, it's okay. I have one right here for us. You'll need your word list from your binder. You'll need your alphabet chart, and you'll need writing paper. If you don't have any writing paper and you just have blank paper, that's okay. Do exactly what Mrs. Moore did. Draw a rectangle up top and draw some lines on the bottom. Make sure your lines are big enough for words, okay? If you need to pause the video and make your paper, go for it. Okay. So these are the tools you need all the time whenever you're writing. Make sure you have those handy. Because if you're in the middle of writing and you come to a popcorn word and you forget how it's spelled, go back to your word wall. Okay? So let's start by retelling our Jig, Jag, and Jog book. Okay, so remember, whenever we retell a story, do we reread the words? No, we just say what's happening in the story. Sometimes the things we say sound similar to the words in the story, and that's okay, right? So let's retell this story. Jig, Jag, and Jog is the story we are retelling. Okay, what happens first? Yeah, the dog jumps over the log. What happens? Yep, the dog jumped in a bog. Who is that? Jim. What did he do? He jumped over a nag. A nag is another word for a horse. Who ate jam with Jim? The dog. Who's eating jam together here? The rat and the pig. What is Jim putting in the pot? Jam! And what did the animals do? They all jumped in the pot of jam. Who were the animals that jumped in? The dog, the pig, and the rat. Good job. Was Jim very happy about that? No, he was not. Okay, what did he say? He said, get out of that pot. What do you think Jim's going to have to do? Because jam's pretty sticky. What do you think Jim's going to have to do now? He's probably going to have to wash those animals off. Okay, so I was thinking we could continue the story today by starting with the pattern. On each page, it started with a pattern similar to this one, but sometimes those word families change. A jig, a jag, and a jog. Okay, sometimes the word families changed. Like on this page, it says a jig, a jag, and a jot. Okay, so let's think. If Jim's going to have to wash all those animals, and we're talking about word families, ig, ag, og, and there's a lot of ot words in here too. If we're thinking of an ot word, what could Jim put the animals in to wash them? It would end with ot. Maybe a pot. Maybe a really big pot, like his pot for jam. They all got in that. Good idea. Okay, so let's start. We are going to start with what repeats in our story. Okay, let's think. Let's try a jig, a jag, and we need something that rhymes with pot. A jig, a jag, and a something that rhymes with pot. Jot. Good job. A jig, a jag, and a jot. Let's count those words. A jig, a jag, and a jot. How many words is that? 7, yeah. Okay, so let me take one piece down. We are going to start with a jig, a jag, and a jot. Whenever we start a sentence, we start with a capital letter. A, go ahead and write it. A jig, ig. What's that first sound? J. Make sure you have a space in between your words. Use 2 fingers. Put your fingers down after the A and make a space. A jig, comma, a jig, a jag. So A. Is this A going to be uppercase also? No? Why not? Right, because this A is the beginning of a sentence, but this A is not going to be the beginning of a sentence. It's in the middle of my sentence. So it is lowercase. A jig, a jag, ag, comma, a jig, a jag, and, what is and? It's a popcorn word. You should be able to find it really quick in your binder if you need help with it. Okay, a jig, a jag, and, should I have made that A uppercase or lowercase? Lowercase, because I'm still in the middle of my sentence. A jig, a jag, and a, don't forget your finger space, and a jot. J-ot. Good job, J. J-ah. What's my O? J-ot. Good job. Period at the end. Okay. What was Jim going to put the animals in? A pot. So he needs to get that pot first. Okay, so Jim gets a pot. Are you ready to write it with me? Jim. This is a new sentence, so what do I need to put at the beginning? A capital letter. Jim. J-M. Jim gets. Jim gets a pot. 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 Jim gets a pot. Okay, let's see. We need to draw a picture to go with our writing. So what do we need to draw Jim doing? Getting a pot. Okay. I'm going to draw a quick picture of Jim, and later on I will go back and I will add to my picture. Okay, he's getting a big pot for all those animals to fit inside of. Okay, Go ahead and draw your picture and come back to me whenever you're ready. Okay, so we have a jig, a jag, and a jot. Jim gets a pot. What did Jim get that pot for? Right, to put water in for all the animals to get in for him to wash them. Okay, so your job, whenever we stop this video, is going to be to add more to our story. Okay, you're going to keep going. You can go as far as you want with this story, but make sure you have what repeats in this story. So we have a jig, a jag, and a jot, or other word families can go here. Okay, and then I want you to continue with rhyming words, how jot and pot, the last words in our sentence, rhymed. And I want you to try to tell me how Jim washes those animals in the pot. Okay, do you think you can do that? Awesome. Okay, so on your page, your second page, you are going to do that and you're going to take pictures and send them to your teacher so that we can see your awesome writing. Okay? All right. Thank you for joining me today, friends. I hope you enjoyed our lesson, and I cannot wait to see all of your beautiful writing. I'll see you soon. Bye.